I completely understand why the Patriots did it. And the psychology of it, I think, is fascinating. By waiting to make their move, they ran the risk that someone else was going to sign him, but also they created a circumstance where if Cam Newton had no other suitors, and he had no other suitors, he was going to take whatever offer the Patriots put out there. Seen a lot of criticism of the contract, comparisons to Chase Daniel. Chase Daniel making more than Cam Newton and Jameis Winston combined this year. Okay, fine. But the reality is neither Newton nor Winston had a ton of leverage when the time came for them to sign their contracts. Nobody wanted Winston to be a starter. People were leery about him being a backup because he's used to being a starter. He wants to be a starter. Chase Daniel better fits into that backup role, who will accept his position and not try to take over. That was part of the, I think, problem for getting Jameis Winston a good backup contract. And then you throw in the fact that Cam Newton just wasn't healthy and was a victim of circumstance, a victim of the Panthers not cutting him when they should have back in February, like they cut Greg Olsen. And then the Panthers thinking they can get something in exchange for Cam Newton, so they held on to him longer than they should have. And then when they finally cut him, there's no fair opportunity for him to go out and see what's on the market to get a physical because of the pandemic. So he was stuck. He was stuck. And it's unfortunate that it happened, but now he's making chicken salad. He's taking the deal that he can get so he can get the opportunity to position himself for next year. See, if he doesn't do this deal now, he's going to be in a tough spot to have the kind of season necessary to make him an attractive free agent in 2021. He would have been waiting for someone to get injured. And look, you never know who's going to get injured, who's not going to get injured. You can't predict that. What if it's an injury to a quarterback on a team you really don't want to play for? Or what if you're not sure how long the injury is? What if it's not season ending, but maybe the guy's going to be out 8 weeks? Do you go for 8 weeks, then you have to worry about being benched for the starter when he recovers? And what if a team who has an injury to a quarterback just says, next man up? We got a guy who's here who knows the system. This move gets Cam Newton to New England to learn the system, compete with Jarrett Stidham at a time when Stidham didn't have an offseason program as the number one guy. I mean, think about that. We've seen plenty of praise of Jarrett Stidham from Patriots players over the past several months, but there's never been a moment in his time in the NFL where Jarrett Stidham has been the guy in a locker room full of his peers. Never been the guy. And now here comes Cam Newton, who is clearly the guy. So it's going to be easier for Newton to compete. It's going to be easier for him to get the starting job. It was smart for him to do it now. And I think the Patriots knew exactly what they were doing by waiting. I think they were interested in him all along on their terms. And they knew that the best way to get him on their terms was to wait. And they did. And they were willing to assume the risk that he would land somewhere else. And you know what? Because they never let on that they wanted him, nobody ever would have said, oh, the Patriots blew that. See, that's the value of keeping your mouth shut. And that's what the Patriots do. And this is one of the reasons why they do it. Because if you do come off as being too anxious, number one, it drives up the price. Number two, if you don't get the guy, you look like you've lost. Instead, the Patriots look like they've won, and they quite possibly have. And Cam Newton quite possibly has won as well, depending upon how things go this year.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.